I was admitted at 22+5 in Belfast in Northern Ireland because I had a bleed. Yes, I came home I was admitted on Christmas Eve and I came home on the 27th, sailed back to Manchester and then went to North Manchester, which was my booking hospital. No, I had my anti-D injection because I'm rhesus negative, and then I went home and they just said everything was fine. And then on the 2nd of January, I woke up and had another massive bleed, and I went straight back to North Manchester. And the midwife asked if the doctor could come and examine me, and there they found I was 24 weeks exactly, and they found that my waters were protruding, and my cervix had started to dilate a little bit. So it was all action stations then. Yes, so there was a doctor, and I think she was a maternity doctor. I can't remember because it was a bit of a blur. She came in and she said that they needed to transfer me as soon as possible to a level 3 neonatal unit, which had no idea what that meant at the time. And then I could hear her on the phone, or someone on the phone, asking about cot numbers and where we were going. And then there was a paediatrician that came to see us as well, and he said that if Tom was to be born there and then they would stabilise him, and then they would have to send us quite quickly somewhere else where they could look after him. So I went to Royal Oldham in an ambulance with a midwife and a paramedic, and when I got there I was met by quite a few midwives, and they gave me some drugs to stop my contractions, but then that made me quite poorly. It gave me a headache and made my pulse race, so there was concern about that. And then there was a team of people that came from the neonatal unit. I think there was a consultant and a registrar, and I think maybe a nurse came, and they started to talk to us about what would happen when Tom was born, and where he would be taken. And they also asked us if we wanted to go on a tour of the neonatal unit, but we actually said no to that, which was my biggest regret, saying no to the tour. For me, I think it was because if I didn't go and have a look round, then it wasn't really happening. And they asked me twice to go, and I refused. Gareth, my husband, wanted to go, but I just couldn't face it. I think I was a little bit in denial. So Tom was born at about, I think about 20 past 8 in the evening. I was only in full blown labour for about 3 hours, and he was resuscitated for quite a while, and then they brought him over to see me quite briefly when they was putting him in the incubator to take him off, and they asked me then if I wanted to see him, and I said no, because I just wanted him to go and get better. And the doctor said to me there and then that he didn't know if they would make him better, so it was best if I had a look at him, so I did, and that didn't go very well, and then he was taken quite quickly after that, because I was really, really upset. And yeah, he didn't look like a baby, and nobody had told me that he wouldn't look like a baby. So it was quite traumatic to see him. So after a couple of hours, or I think it was a couple of hours again, I've got no concept of time, the Dr. Moyes came back and said that they'd stabilised Tom on the neonatal unit, and he said that we could go and see him, and he said that although he was stable, it was hour by hour, and we had to manage our expectations, because it was still he was very unsure of how it was going to go, because I think because Tom was resuscitated for a long time, I remember him saying he'd been born in quite poor condition, so it was quite serious.